American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, I'm your instructor, Paul Gruber, and welcome to the Pronunciation Workshop's first training session. I am very excited that you have taken this first step to improve your English pronunciation, and I do hope that you enjoy this program and receive great benefits from it. Before we begin, I want to make sure that you have downloaded and printed out the training manual which accompanies this course. If you have not yet done so, please do it soon, because you'll definitely need it. Now, you may be wondering, how is it that I am going to help you change the way you speak? Well, basically, when you learned English as a second language, you kept many of the sounds and speech rules from your first language, and you are continuing to use them when you speak English. This is what gives you an accent. You are using the sounds and speech rules from your native language instead of the sounds and speech rules of English. And you know why? Well, because when you learned English, nobody ever showed you what the sounds and speech rules of English were until now. That's where I come in, because I am going to show you and train you on how to use these sounds and speech rules correctly. Knowing and using these rules will help you reduce or possibly even eliminate your accent. Now, throughout the program, you're often going to see me point to my mouth to show you how to produce a particular sound. I want you to pay close attention and try to copy exactly what it is I'm doing. I will be showing you how to correctly form new sounds by changing the position of your tongue or changing the shape of your lips. These small changes are going to make very big changes in your speech. Regarding practicing, I recommend that you use the training manual and try to practice often. When you practice, I recommend that you start out speaking slowly, out loud in a strong voice, while exaggerating all the mouth movements. What you will be doing is retraining the muscles of your mouth and your tongue to move in new ways, which will produce new pronunciation patterns. These new speech patterns will slowly and eventually evolve into your own spontaneous, fast speech. But it is important that you start out going very slow. If you can pronounce words and sentences correctly speaking slowly, well, then you'll have no problem saying them fast. I believe practicing is important, but I do not believe it's the only key toward success. Being aware of your errors, that's the key. Being aware and also recognizing mistakes when you hear them will probably be the most important factor towards your improvement. Another thing I'd like you to keep in mind, and I'm sure you may have noticed this already, is that when most Americans speak, you will notice that we seem to open our mouths a lot, and there's a great amount of mouth movement. Watch my mouth when I say something like, "Wow, is it really raining on Wednesday?" Did you see how much my mouth seemed to move? It wasn't with my lips flat. It wasn't, "Wow, is it really raining on Wednesday?" There was a lot of movement. My mouth opened wide, but also my whole mouth moved forward. Now, I find many foreign speakers, maybe because of their language's characteristics, they don't move their mouths much, and there is very little facial movement. Because of this, to an American listener, the words often sound mumbled, making it very difficult for an American listener to understand what it is you said. One way to be better understood immediately is to become more aware of your speech and to really start opening and moving your mouth. I'd like you to try to observe what I'm talking about. When you speak to native-born Americans or watch TV or movies, notice how when Americans speak, generally our mouths really open big and our lips come forward. These movements have a lot to do with the sound of American English. I also want to add that I will often be asking you to repeat words and sentences on these videos. Try to think and act as if we're both sitting in the same room and I am directly right in front of you. Listen carefully to the words and sounds that I give you. Listen carefully to my pronunciation and watch my mouth. Then repeat the words back to me in your own voice with the techniques that I'm showing you as clearly as you can. Now, at first you may feel a bit foolish talking to your computer screen, but really you shouldn't. Make believe you are speaking directly to me. You will find this to be extremely helpful and effective. During the course of this program, I will begin by addressing consonant sounds, and then later on we'll work with vowel sounds. Now, vowel sounds, as you know, are A, E, I, O, and U, like A, O, E, and U. And consonant sounds are basically all the other letters and sounds, like B, Ch, S, T, F, G, Sh, W, and of course there are many, many more sounds. The consonants that we are going to cover in this first session are the consonant R and the consonant W. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Let's get started. Let's start with the American R. R's are everywhere. They are probably the most commonly occurring consonant sound in English. One reason for this is that R's affect vowel sounds, especially when an R falls at the end of a word or after a vowel sound, as in the word car, or the word air, or the word turn. After working with so many non-native English speakers from around the world, I believe the R sound is one of the main causes for being misunderstood in American English. Therefore, this is why I've chosen to start out with this sound. Now, in some languages like Arabic and Spanish, the R is produced by bringing the tongue forward in the front of the mouth, behind the upper teeth, and rolling or trilling the tongue, like that. Now, in some other languages like German and French, the R is produced in the back of the throat. But this is not how we produce an R sound in the United States. In American English, in order to say a clear R sound, two distinct things have to happen. The first thing is that our mouth and our lips come tightly forward, as if you would be saying the ooh sound. Do this with me. Say ooh, and make sure you're bringing your lips all the way forward. Say ooh. That's it. You see how your lips are forward? That's what you want to do. This is the position your mouth should be in when you produce an American R, like that. And I'll bet you no one ever told you that. Now, the second thing is that your tongue moves back in your mouth. It doesn't come forward, it's pulled back. This is probably the opposite of what you are doing right now. So, for example, in the word rock, notice how my lips are coming forward and my tongue moves back in my mouth, and I push out the R sound. Watch this. Rock. Do it with me and exaggerate the R. Rock. Watch it with my head turned. Rock. You see that? See how the whole bottom of my face came forward? Don't be afraid to do this. This forward mouth movement is what is going to give you an American R sound. It's not rock, and it's not rock with your lips flat. Your whole mouth really has to come forward. Now later, I recommend that you practice doing this in front of a mirror while watching your mouth. Really push out the R, and remember to pull your tongue back. Now, one way of checking if you're doing this correctly with your tongue is by actually putting your finger around an inch into your mouth while saying an R word. Watch this. Rock. Like that. You should be able to take the tip of your finger and feel the tip of your tongue. If you do these two simple things, bringing your mouth forward and pulling your tongue back, I'm telling you, your speech is going to be clearer and you're going to sound so much better. Okay, we're going to start out with R's at the beginning of words. Here we go. Repeat after me. Rock, rip, reach, road, rain, rich, roam, raise, robe, rice. Very good. Now repeat this sentence. The round rooster rushed into the wrong road. Very good. Now, pronouncing R's like this may feel a little weird to you, but if you notice, this is how most Americans talk. Okay, now let's do R's at the end of words or after a vowel. When a foreign speaker produces an R which is at the end of a word or follows a vowel, it's usually very weak. It's not really heard, and it leaves the word open or unfinished. Like in the word car. Now you may say ka, ending with an A vowel, but it's not ka, it's car. Your tongue has to pull back. Car. And also your lips close a little bit in the front. The R needs to be very strong and you need to close the word. Car. Let's practice these words. Repeat after me. Car, far, star, door, bear, for, air, year, and that has a high vowel sound, E, year, turn, and pour. Very good. Okay, now let's discuss R's in the middle of words. In the word very, for example, which is a frequently used word in English, the R occurs in the middle of the word. It's not a D sound. The word is not vedi or very, it's very. Make sure that the R sound is strong and your lips are coming forward. Your tongue is back and you push out the R. Very, like that. Practice these sentences with me, nice and slow. He is very, very nice. Like that. See how my lips are coming all the way forward? Next one. She is very, very tall. Here are some more practice words with R in the middle. Repeat after me. Direction, arrange, erase, correct, marry, garage, original, hurry, zero, marine, berry, operation, caring, arrive, everyone. Okay, very good. Now, R's are often combined with other consonants and form what we call R blends. It is important to understand that the R sound is the strongest sound of the blend, and your lips often come forward before you even say the word. An example of this is the word grape. Now notice how my mouth comes forward before I even say the word. Grape. Did you see that? And notice in the word grape, the R sound is stronger and you even hear it more than the G sound. Grape. Here are some practice words with R blends. First, at the beginning of words. Here we go. Training, trust, trip, great, tropical, bring, print, president, product, cracker, crawl, break. Okay, now in the middle of words. Subtract, waitress, nutrition, Australia, introduce, compress, oppression, betray. Very good. Okay, now let's practice R sounds in sentences. These sentences are filled with R's. Keep the R sounds strong. Don't forget to bring your mouth forward and pull your tongue back. Say these sentences with me. Here we go. The story he read on the radio was incorrect. Her career in the law firm is permanent. Richard and Brooke took a ride in their brand new Range Rover truck. Everyone will respect the royal family when they arrive at the airport. Be sure to close the word air. It's not airport, it's air. Airport, like that with a strong R sound. The trip to the Rocky Mountains will be rescheduled on Friday. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about W sounds. W sounds are very similar to R sounds. The major thing to keep in mind is that in English, when you see a W, it always has a W sound, like in the word what. Again, notice how my mouth moves forward. One way to make sure you are doing this correctly is to first say ooh with your whole mouth forward. Ooh, like that. And then open and close your lips to make the W sound, like this. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's how you produce a W. Whoa, like that. It's never a V sound, where you are like biting down on your lower lip. Never. We'll be going over V sounds in the 4th session. The reason I mention this is because many foreign speakers, especially German speakers, say, for example, what with a V for the word what. Instead of saying, what will we do, which is correct, they may say, what will we do? And that is not right, and many people may not understand you. Bring your mouth forward on those W words. What will we do? Say it with me. What will we do? Very good. Now, as I said, the W and the R are similar. Both of them are made with your mouth in a forward position and your tongue pulled back. Your mouth should be a little bit tighter when you say an R. Listen to the similarities and differences between these R and W words. Rick, wick. Right, white. It's not vite with a V, it's white with a W. Very good. Also be aware that the W sound occurs in some words beginning with the letter O, like in the words one and once. You might not be aware of this. Practice these W words with me. We'll start out with W at the beginning of words. Don't forget to bring your mouth forward at the beginning of each word. Why, which, when, what, wipe, wish, wait, wing. Very good. Okay, now with W in the middle of words. Always, away, beware, awake, someone, rewind, Halloween, Hollywood. Now practice these W sentences. The wind from the west was very wet. Remember, very starts with a V sound followed by a strong R. Was very wet. Very good. We woke up and washed the white washcloth. We waited for the waitress to give us water. We had a wonderful time in Washington and Wisconsin. Very good. Now, while we are talking about W sounds, I'd like to mention Q sounds. How are Q sounds related? Well, Q sounds are made with the K sound, k, k, and the W sound, w, put together. You may not have known that. So, for example, the word quick is pronounced with a K and a strong W sound. Quick, like that. Repeat some of these words beginning with the Q sound. question, quiet, queen, qualify, quit, Quebec, quilt, and also in the CH word, choir. Very good. Okay, here now is a paragraph which contains many R and W sounds. You may want to practice reading this paragraph a few times. Notice how my lips come forward on all my R's and W's. Try to do the same thing. And don't forget, do not roll your R's. Don't do that. Here we go. Ray was born in Russia. He dreamed of building the perfect roller coaster at the Grand Canyon in Arizona. He had a friend named Fred who lived in Norway. Fred's profession was designing railroad tracks, and his career involved traveling all around the world. Ray thought it would be perfect if Fred designed his roller coaster ride. Fred was creative, brilliant, and worked well with railroad tracks. He would be the perfect engineer for the project. The ride took 2 years to construct and was painted red and white. Everyone really wanted to ride the brand new roller coaster. Very good. Now, if you strongly push out those R's and W's, when you practice, eventually your R and W sounds are going to be clear and your speech will be much easier to understand. If you have the time, watch this session again and practice your pronunciation along with me. Then take out your training manual and practice on your own. All the word lists and reading passages that are on these videos are in the manual as well. I hope you enjoyed our first session together. Feel free to watch this session again. I'm Paul Gruber with the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you next time.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's second session. I hope things have been going well since we last met. I would like to just mention again that there are literally hundreds of languages around the world, and every language has its own set of characteristics. What I've done in this program is to address the most significant pronunciation errors made by most foreign speakers. Now, you may find that not every lesson pertains to your individual pronunciation problem. If that's the case, well then that's great because you've got less to work on. But I'd hate you to miss out on anything important. Therefore, I still do recommend that you watch all of the sessions in chronological order from the first session to the last session to get the most out of this program. And then later on, if you feel you need more practice, review the sessions which you feel may need more attention. Okay, let's get started with today's session. In this video, we are going to talk about voicing. We'll also talk about consonant pairs and what they are. And then we'll cover S sounds and Z sounds. Okay, here we go. Voicing. You're going to hear me say this word a lot, and you need to understand what it is and what I'm talking about. All speech sounds, all of them, are either voiced or unvoiced. Now, what does that mean? Well, first, let's take a look at this video. It may look a little bit disgusting. Do you have any idea what this is? It looks like something is opening and closing. I'll give you a hint. You've got a pair of these and you use them when you speak. Any idea? Those were vocal cords. Vocal cords are those tiny muscles that are right here in your throat that vibrate quickly and create sound, and that sound is your voice. Now you can easily make your vocal cords vibrate by just saying, ah, that's it. That's voicing. Voicing is when your vocal cords are vibrating, producing a sound. And you can feel the vibrations if you put your hand right here on your throat. Do this with me. Put your hand on your throat and nice and loud say, ah. Do you feel the vibration? Those are your vocal cords vibrating. Now all vowel sounds are voiced. Ah, o, oo, a, e. You cannot produce a vowel sound without voicing it. Nothing would come out. You see? You need voicing. Ah. So all vowels are voiced. Now consonants are a completely different story. Some consonants are voiced and some consonants are not voiced. And many consonants are what we call paired. So let's talk about paired consonants. Let's look at the sound the letter P makes. P, p, p. That's the sound of the letter P. Are your vocal cords vibrating when you're saying the sound? You feeling any vibrations in your throat? No, your vocal cords are not producing a sound. So therefore, the P sound is what we call unvoiced because there is no voicing. And this is the sign I'm going to make when there is no voicing. So now let's look at the same sound, the P sound, p, 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 but this time we'll add voicing by vibrating our vocal cords. Now we won't change a thing with our mouths. We'll keep that the same. We'll just add voicing. So what happens to the P sound? P, 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 b, 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 b. It becomes a B sound. Watch again. P, no voicing. P, 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 b, 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 B voicing. P, p, b, b. You see that everything here stays the same. The only difference is my vocal cords are either vibrating or they're not vibrating. So we say the P sound and the B sound are paired consonants. They are produced exactly the same way here in your mouth, but the P sound has no voicing and the B sound, b, b, does have voicing. Okay, having said that, let's look at another set of consonants. How about the letter T? What sound does that make? T, t, t. Is that voiced or unvoiced? T, t, t. It's unvoiced. Your vocal cords are not vibrating. T, t. Now don't change a thing with your mouth. Just take the same sound and add voicing. What does that T sound become? T, t, d, 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 d. Becomes a D sound. D, d, d. So we say that the T sound, t, t, and the D sound, d, d, are also paired consonants. Okay, now let's look at the F sound, where you're biting down on your lower lip. Is that a voiced sound or an unvoiced sound? It's unvoiced. Your vocal cords are not vibrating. Now, same sound, but this time we add voicing. V. It becomes a V. You see that? F, no voicing, V voicing. V. So the F and the V are also paired consonants. There are many more consonants that are paired, and we'll get to those at another time. But for now, I'm going to mention just one more. The S consonant, made with air going through your front teeth. S. Any voicing going on with the sound? S. No, the S sound is unvoiced. S. Now what would be if you didn't change a thing, you just added voicing? What would the S sound become? S. Z. It would become a Z sound. Z. So S has no voicing. S. Z has voicing. Z. So we say the S sound and the Z sound are also paired consonants. And this brings us to what I'd like to cover today. S sounds, S, Z sounds, z, and how they work in terms of word endings. I find that most people who learn English as a second language do not use the proper voicing on S and Z endings. And what happens is it can cause your speech to sound unclear and sometimes may cause you to be misunderstood. I'm going to show you 3 easy rules that will help you pronounce many of these words correctly. This first rule is easy, and this one I know you probably do already. Rule number 1. If the last sound in a word is unvoiced and you're adding an S, well then the S remains unvoiced too. Let me explain that. Take the word cup. Cup. It ends with an unvoiced P. P, p, cup. P, p. Well then if you add an S to the word cup to make it plural, the S you add also remains unvoiced. So, for example, you have 1 cup or 2 cups. There's no voicing at the end of that word. The S remains unvoiced. 1 cup, 2 cups. That's easy. You already do this. I'll show you another word. Cat. Cat ends with an unvoiced T. T, t. 1 cat, 2 cats. Again, the S ending is unvoiced. Cats. Now this also goes for verbs, like in the verb break. I break. Break ends with an unvoiced K sound. K, k. There's no voicing on that K. So when you put the word in the third person, he breaks, the S you add also remains unvoiced. He breaks. I stop ends with an unvoiced P. P, p. I stop. He stops. Unvoiced S. Stops. Now, as I said, you already follow this rule, and there really isn't anything new to know. But on rule number 2, now this one you probably do not do, so pay close attention to this rule. When adding an S to a word to make it plural, if a word ends with any of these sounds, s, z, sh, ch, or j, as in judge, and don't worry, you really don't need to memorize this. It will become automatic. When you add an S ending, this time we always add the ending is with a voiced Z. Is. It doesn't matter that it's spelled with an S. It's never is, unvoiced, never. It's always is with a voiced Z. Okay, do this with me. Put your hand on your throat because I want you to feel the vibration in your neck and say is. Feel that right here, is. Okay, so let's look at the word page, for example, which ends in a voiced sound. 1 page becomes 2 pages with that voiced Z. 2 pages. It's not 2 pages, unvoiced, no. It's 2 pages with a voiced Z. Even though you spell the word like this, in American English you pronounce the word like this. Pages. You're probably saying, I never knew that. See what you're learning from me? Okay, let's look at another word. In the word bus, for example, bus ends with an S sound. Bus. So if you make it plural, you're going to add the ending is with a voiced Z. So we've got 1 bus or 2 buses. Buses. 2 buses. The last sound you hear is that voiced Z. Buses. Next one, lunch. Lunch ends with a CH sound. Ch. So we've got 1 lunch or 2 lunch is. Lunches. Very good. Let's do some verbs. Raise, meaning like to raise my hand. Now this word is a bit unusual because even though it is spelled with an S, it's pronounced with a voiced Z. Raise. So we say I raise with a voiced Z ending, and he raises raises. He raises his hand. It's voiced. Next one, brush, like to brush my teeth. I brush. He brushes. Brushes. It's a voiced ending. Push. I push. He pushes. He pushes. Very good. By voicing these endings, your speech will become clearer, sharper, and cleaner. Most likely you haven't noticed that American English is spoken this way, but now that I've pointed it out, listen for it when you hear people speak. To an American listener, this makes a very big difference. Okay, here comes the third rule. This one's easy. If a word ends with a vowel sound, all you do is add a voiced Z. It's simple. Let's look at the word tree. The last sound you hear in that word is the vowel E. And remember, a vowel is always voiced. So the word ends in a voiced sound. Tree. So what you want to do if you're going to add an S to a word like this to make it plural is you continue the voicing throughout the whole word and add on a voiced Z. So here we go. You've got one tree or two trees. It's not trees with an unvoiced S. It's trees with that voiced ending. You see that? Another example, the word day. It ends with the vowel sound A. So you have one day or two days. It's not days, unvoiced. It's days with a voiced Z ending. Next one, shoe. One shoe, two shoes. Next is the verb fly, which ends in the vowel sound I. So you've got I fly, he flies. Keep that ending voiced. Flies. The last sound you hear in the word game is the M sound, which is a voiced consonant. So because of that, when you add an S, the S should also be voiced. One game, two games. Games. Now the word head ends with a voiced D, d, d. So we've got one head or two heads. Heads. It's voiced. Two heads. Very good. Next word, train, ends with a voiced N. See that? So you've got one train or two trains. Two trains with a voiced Z ending. Song ends with a voiced NG sound. So if you make it plural, don't forget to add a voiced Z ending. You've got one song or two songs. Two songs. Now, what I just showed you takes some practice to actually incorporate it into your English, but I can tell you from past experience that most of my clients were able to master these S and Z voiced endings in just a few weeks. Okay, now for something else. As you know by now, English is a difficult and a crazy language. All these words that I'm going to show you now are written with an S, however, they are all pronounced with a voiced Z. Why this is, I have no idea, but this is how English is. Here we go. The word is, it's not is, unvoiced, it's pronounced as if it were a Z. Is, this is good. You hear that? Is. His, same thing. It also has a voiced Z ending. His mom is Mary. As, you pronounce it with a voiced Z. As the phone rang. Was, which is a very common word. It was raining. These, voiced ending. These are my children. Those are my books. Easy. Again, the S is like a voiced Z. Easy. This is easy. Because, which is another common word, because we were late. Okay, now let's do some practice with reading passages. Each of these has many voiced and unvoiced S and Z sounds. All of the voiced Z sounds you will see are underlined. If you've printed out the training manual using a color printer, you'll notice that the voiced Z sounds are all printed in red. This will help you visually see which sounds should be voiced. I'm going to go slow and exaggerate the sounds. You may just want to listen to me first, then stop the video, practice on your own, and then later on watch this video again and practice it with me. Whatever feels right to you. Now this first one has many voiced Z sounds. Here we go. Another zippy, zappy, crazy day comes to a close as we zoom up to Joe's snooze zone. Zoe Jones of Zodiac Zoo plays with her zipper. Very good. Next one. Last week, Jim's brothers were picked to represent their country in the Olympic Games. Two of the brothers were swimmers, while the other two were long-distance runners. All of the brothers wore glasses. These athletes worked hard at qualifying for the games and were hoping to come home with prizes. Since the brothers go to the same university, they often take the same courses. This makes studying easier and gives them more time to do other things. Okay, here's the last one. On Thursday, I had a very lazy day. I woke up early and first squeezed oranges into juice. I then got dressed and watched the sunrise come up over the mountains. It was so beautiful that I took many pictures with my camera and I used 3 rolls of film. After drinking 2 cups of coffee, I got dressed, left the house, and walked 3 miles home. Very good. Now another good way to practice these voiced S and Z endings is to do a naming activity. What you do is you just sit in your room and out loud name everything you see, first in the singular form and then in the plural form. For example, you look around and you say out loud, 1 door, 2 doors, with a voiced Z ending. 1 table, 2 tables. 1 computer, 2 computers. 1 light, 2 lights. Some of my clients found this to be very helpful. In addition, try listening for these voiced sounds when you hear native-born Americans speak. It's very good ear training, and that'll help you improve. Soon, slowly begin to put these sounds into your own speech. You'll find that by adding these voiced endings, your English will sound cleaner and people will have an easier time understanding you. Believe me, it's going to really make an improvement. Before we finish, I have one more suggestion that comes from clients who have taken this program. I think it's a really good idea. If you can, find a very small mirror and attach it maybe with some tape right onto the side of your computer monitor, right next to the screen. By having a mirror right in front of you during our sessions, you can easily read the text on the screen, watch my mouth, and then look right into the mirror at your own mouth. You'll be able to compare your mouth with what I'm doing, and you'll know whether or not you are forming your lips and tongue into the correct positions. Through imitation and following my instructions, you're becoming closer to speaking with an American accent. Well, that's it for today. Relax, have fun, and practice what I've shown you. Until next time, I'm Paul Gruber with the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session.
The American dream to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's third training session. In this class, we will cover the American TH sounds, both the unvoiced TH and the voiced TH. This is one of my favorite areas because when you correctly produce TH sounds, you will significantly improve the way you speak English. Later on in this video, we will also address voiced T sounds. Now, except for maybe a few languages, English is one of the only languages in the world that has a TH sound, where your tongue comes out between your teeth. Now, you may have a difficult time with the sound because this sound probably does not exist in your own native language. Therefore, you don't think to use this sound when you speak English. Most likely, you just substitute another sound, like a T or an S. So instead of saying a word like thumb, my thumb, which this is, and notice how my tongue is coming out, my thumb, you've been saying thumb, my thumb, or my thumb, and your tongue is not coming out. That is not correct. If you make mistakes like this in connected speech over and over again, there is a good chance people are not going to understand you. I have found that some people from different cultures of the world find the idea of sticking out their tongue when they speak to be rude and offensive, even if it is to produce a TH sound. I want you to understand that this is how Americans speak English, and it is something that you must become comfortable with if you wish to speak well. To produce TH sounds correctly, you need to first stick your tongue out between your teeth and bite down slightly. Then blow. This creates air friction. The sound comes from the air friction and should be pretty loud. Keep your tongue flat and maintain an even, steady flow of air. Now, I'm not just saying stick it out a little bit. I'm saying stick it way out, at least while you're practicing, to get used to the feeling. The TH sound comes from the air and the friction. You have got to hear it, and it should be somewhat loud. Like that. If you're like most people, you may need to work on this a little bit, but trust me, I know you can do it. Hundreds of my clients who have never produced a TH sound in their lives are speaking English clearly and beautifully because they've learned how to do this. It may help if you look in a mirror and watch your mouth and your tongue. See if you can maintain the airflow for 3 seconds. Like that. Woof. I know this may feel very strange and uncomfortable to do possibly, but soon you'll get used to it, and this small change in your speech is going to really improve how your English sounds. Now, the TH sound is a friction sound and is not as loud as other speech sounds. Therefore, American speakers stretch them out a little bit. We don't even realize we do this, but this makes the sound come out clearer. Let me show you what I mean. Let's look again at the word thumb. For practicing purposes, think of the word in 2 beats. 1, 2. Thumb, like that. You see that? Notice how long I'm holding the TH sound. Thumb. It's not good enough just to put your tongue between your teeth and say a TH word like this. Thumb. You see that? My tongue came out, but there was never any air friction. That's not good. You must stretch out the TH sound and hear the air friction. Thumb, like that. Let's practice some words with TH sounds. First, at the beginning of words. Here we go. Thanks, thick, thunder, Thursday, think. Now in the middle of words. Anything, bath mat, toothpick, athletic, mouthwash. Now at the ends of words. Bath, north, beneath, forth, south. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about voiced TH sounds. To make a voiced TH sound, all you have to do is take the TH sound that I just showed you and just add voicing. That's the voiced TH. You should be able to feel a strong vibration in your throat and on your tongue. Let's go over some of these voiced TH sounds. This first set of words are some of the most commonly used words in English, and yes, they should all be voiced and all made with your tongue coming through your teeth. First, at the beginning of words. The, like the book. That house. They came over. Them, give them water. There it is. This is my nose. Those boys are good. These are my parents. You know, another good way to practice these words is by going around your room and naming everything you see using a TH word. For example, the chair, that window, those books, this door, like that. Then go around and name your body parts and some clothing, like that shoe, this watch, these feet. Okay, that may be helpful. Let's look at these voiced TH sounds in the middle of words. Clothing. Notice how my tongue comes out in the middle of the word and the TH sound is pushed out. Clothing. Leather. Same thing. Stick out your tongue and make a strong vibration. Leather. Mother. Another. Weather. Northern. And now at the ends of words. Smooth. Believe it or not, the TH sound in smooth is voiced. Most foreign speakers say this word incorrectly. They say smooth with an unvoiced TH, but it's voiced. Smooth. Bathe. The word bath is a noun with an unvoiced TH. Bath. But when you change it into a verb, to bathe, the vowel changes to an A sound and the TH is voiced. Bathe, like in bathing suit. Breathe, same thing. Breath is a noun. Take a breath, unvoiced. But when you change it into a verb, the vowel changes and it becomes breathe. I am breathing with a voiced TH. Now let's do some practice phrases. These all have voiced and unvoiced TH sounds. Repeat after me. This and that. A tablecloth. Winter clothing. Athens, Greece. That's the one. Her skin is smooth. 30 days notice. A famous author. Here and there. False teeth. Thread the needle. A thoughtful gift. Thunder and lightning. Thumbs up. Repeat these sentences. Thelma arrived in town last Thursday. I'm having trouble threading this needle. I need 33 thick thermometers. The thing they like best about Athens is the weather. This thrilling novel was written by a famous author. He will be through with his work at 3:30. Now and then she likes to buy new clothing. They thought they were going to northern Spain. Which tablecloth shall we use for the party? That was the 33rd theater to open. Now, I'd like to talk about THR blends, which is a combination of a TH sound and an R sound, like in the word thrill or throw. When producing these blends, I want you to be aware that the R is the strongest sound of the blend and is louder than the TH, just like what we talked about in the first session. So when you see a word which begins with THR, first make the TH sound and then strongly push out the R. Let's practice a few of these. Thread, thread the needle. Throw, throw the ball. Throat, my throat is sore. Thrill, a thrilling ride. 3 more days. Threw, yesterday he threw the ball. Throne, the king sits on a throne. Okay, now let's go over this reading paragraph. It has many TH sounds and it might be difficult, but it is a very good paragraph to practice on. You may want to watch me do this a number of times. Keep your eyes on my mouth and notice how often my tongue comes out. Try to do the same thing. Here we go. Nurse Thatcher was thankful it was Thursday. She knew that on Thursday she had to deliver 33 boxes of thermometers to the North American Athletic Club. They thought that thermometers were necessary for testing the hydrotherapy baths. This was thought to benefit the athletes with arthritis. The athletic trainers required authorization to provide hydrotherapy to the youthful athletes on the 3 bulletin boards with thumbtacks throughout the athletic club. Rather than risk the health of the athletes, they thoroughly checked the thousands of thermometers to ensure their worthiness. Otherwise, they needed to be thrown away. Very good. I hope that wasn't too bad. As I said, that is an excellent paragraph to practice on. You should review it a few times if you can. Okay, now, as I've always said, English is a crazy language and there always seems to be exceptions. Here are a few TH exceptions that I'd like to point out. Although these next words and names are spelled with a TH, they are pronounced as if they were spelled with a normal T, like that. And these words are Thomas, Thompson, Teresa, Thailand, Thames, like the river, Esther, and thyme, which is a spice. Okay, now let's take a moment and talk about T sounds. The T sound is an unvoiced sound, like in the name Tom or the word TV. If you add voicing to a T, what do you get? T, 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 d, d, a D. Remember? We went over this in the first session. What I want to tell you is, in American pronunciation, we like to make things easy. So if a letter T falls between 2 vowel sounds, which are voiced, so if it falls in the middle of vowels, then the T is pronounced as a D and the whole word is voiced. This is very easy and you may already be doing this correctly. Here are 3 examples. Water is pronounced as water. The T turns into a D and the whole word is voiced. Water. I want water. Better becomes better. She's feeling better. And butter becomes butter. Please pass the butter. This should be simple. So now that you know that, practice saying this poem with me. Remember, all the T's are pronounced as D's because they fall between vowels. Betty bought a bit of better butter. But, said she, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. Again, notice that you do not hear any T sounds. T, t. They're only D's, d, d, which are voiced. Go over this poem a few times. It's also printed in your manual. Once you get good at it, try speeding it up. I'll do it one more time for you, a little bit faster. Betty bought a bit of better butter. But, said she, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. Well, that was a mouthful. Okay, start by practicing it slow and then later get faster. Try to let the words just roll out of your mouth. That's it for today's session. Try spending some time in front of a mirror and practicing those TH sounds like thumb and throw. This small change will really improve your English and make you a lot more understandable. I'm Paul Gruber with the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 4th training session. I hope things have been going well. Today we will cover F and V sounds, as well as SH and voiced SH sounds. Just a reminder, all of the material covered in these videos are also printed in your training manual for practicing later on. Let's get started. In the last session, we talked about air friction with TH sounds, that the sound is made with air friction. Well, today we're going to talk about air friction again, but this time it is with F and V sounds. The F and V are paired consonants, and they are both produced exactly the same way, except the F sound is unvoiced and the V sound is voiced. They are both produced by contacting your upper teeth to your lower lip. It sort of feels like you're biting down on your lower lip. Va, 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 like that. Now remember, all that voicing means is that your vocal cords here in your throat are vibrating and making a sound. So the F sound is unvoiced and sounds like this. And the V sound is voiced and sounds like this. Correctly pronouncing these sounds will make your speech much clearer and you more intelligible. Like the TH sounds from the last session, F's and V's are friction sounds and are not that loud, so we stretch these sounds out a little bit so they can be clearly heard. Let's start by looking at the F sound in the word foot. Now, many foreign speakers may use the right positioning by biting down on their lower lip, but they still keep the F very short and they don't create air friction. Therefore, you do not hear the F clearly and it sounds like foot. That's no good. Let me show you what you need to do. First, think of the word as having 2 beats. 1, 2. Hold the F sound for the first full beat. Foot. Like that. Do it again. Foot. Do you see how long I am holding that F? Now I know that's a little bit exaggerated, but you get the idea. You need to hear the air friction. When practicing, try to give the F 1 beat. Foot. Let's work with words beginning with the letter F. Here we go. Find, finally, family, freedom with a strong R, freedom. Laugh. Notice the GH combination in that word. laugh. Telephone. Notice the PH combination in that word is also pronounced as an F. Telephone. It's the same thing in this next word, symphony. This is a tricky one because you've got the M sound followed by an F sound. Symphony. And the last word, rough. Notice the GH combination in that word, rough. Let's work on this paragraph. Do you feel like a physical wreck? Are you fed up with your feeling of fatigue? Have you had enough of feeling rough? Why don't you fight fever with Pharaoh's friend, a medicine that is tough on flu? Very good. Okay, now let's talk about the V sound. First of all, like the F sound, don't make the V sound too short. Let's look at the word vote. You've got to stretch out the V like this. Vote. Vote. Are you hearing that long V sound? That's what you should be doing. Now, depending on your native language, you may be replacing your V sounds for W sounds. Be careful not to do this. The word is not wote, it's vote. Every V that you will see in English is made with this lip-biting position. V, V, V. When you see a V, it's never wo, wo, wo. It's never a W sound. It's always V, vote, like that. Let's practice some words with the V sound. Here we go. Vine, oven, evaluate, voice, travel, river, notice the strong R, river, every, and now at the ends of words, glove, alive, and leave. This last word, leave, is very different from the word leaf, like from a tree, which has an unvoiced F. The word is leave with a voiced V. Keep the voicing going throughout the whole word and voice the V. Leave, like that. If you stop the voicing at the end of the vowel E, then you would be saying leaf with an unvoiced F. And the word we're trying to say is leave with that voiced V. Okay, now let's look at paired words with F and V. You will see here that just by adding voicing, you can completely change the meaning of the word. Here we go. Feel, veal, safe, save, fat, vat, fine, vine, face, vase, fan, van, foul, vowel, proof, prove. Very good. Okay, now we're going to work on listening exercises and ear training. I am going to display some words with V sounds. However, some words I'll be saying correctly, and then some others I'll purposely say incorrectly. I want you to listen carefully to my pronunciation and to the voicing of the V sounds and see whether or not you can tell if I am saying the word correctly or incorrectly. Here we go. Here's the first word. Stove. I cooked dinner on a hot stove. Was that correct? No. I should have said stove. Stove. I cooked dinner on a hot stove with a voiced V. Next word. 5. 3, 4, 5. Correct? Yes. I said 5 with a voiced V. Leaf. I'm in a hurry and I need to leaf. Is that correct? No. It's not leaf with an unvoiced F. I should have said leave with a voiced V sound. Visa. She just received her international visa. correct? No. I said visa with an unvoiced F. I should have said visa with a voiced V. Living. I am living in a house. Is that correct? Yes, the V is voiced. Living. That's correct. Okay, now repeat these phrases. A famous athlete. A food vendor. The Foreign Service. Summer vacation. Vocabulary test. Over the rainbow. Our first victory. Harvard University. Husband and wife. Very well done. Good. Okay, now repeat these sentences with me. Her promotion in the firm was well deserved. There was only one survivor on the island. Steve noticed that the olive juice must have stained his sleeve. The street vendor was selling souvenirs to tourists. Dave gave me his car so that I could drive on New Year's Eve. There were several dents in the rear fender. Tom placed several tomatoes from the vine into a basket. Very good. Now, we are talking about English, so you know there is always an exception to everything. I would like to show you what I call the of exception. Many foreign speakers make this mistake. Even though the word of is spelled with an F, we pronounce the word of with a voiced V. I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. For example, Statue of Liberty. And notice how I connected the word of with the word liberty. Of liberty. You see, of is voiced. Here's another example. It's made of glass, or it's made of wood. It's not wood with an unvoiced F. It's all voiced and it's all connected. It's made of wood, like that. Very good. Okay, now let's go on to something new. Let's talk about SH sounds, sh, and voiced SH sounds, zh. First, to make the SH sound, you bring your lips forward, keep them open, and leave your teeth slightly apart. Blow air through your teeth and produce the sound. Shh. It's an easy sound. What you may not know is that there are some words in English that are written with the letter S, but are pronounced with the SH sound. Words like sugar and sure. And to make things even more difficult, there are a couple of words that are spelled with CH and are also pronounced with the sh sound. Words like chef and the city of Chicago. Okay, having said that, let's go over these words. She, sugar, sure, shadow, sheep, shirt, shoe, shape, Chicago, chef. Very good. Okay, now let's do sh sounds in the middle of words. You will notice that there are many different spellings for this sound, but the sound is always the same. Here we go. Nation, motion, mission, special, reputation, official, machine, fishing, insurance, sunshine, ocean, tissue, addition, subtraction. And now at the end of words, rush, dish, establish, splash, Irish, fresh, and finish. Very good. Okay, let's do some sentences now. The fishing trip was planned and we left to go to the ocean. Was the chef ashamed to use the precious sugar? Sharon gave a special performance. He will be stationed in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. She went to a fashion show after taking a shower. She sells seashells by the seashore. The social club was praised for their cooperation. Now try this. Joe's weather machine shows a sharp drop in air pressure, especially offshore. Ships in motion on the ocean should be sure to use caution. Very good. Okay, now let's work on the voiced SH sound. Zh. To produce this sound, first make a sh sound, and then you add voicing. Sh, zh, like that. Zh. Now, for some people, this may take a little bit of practice. You should feel the vibrations right here in your throat. Zh. Believe it or not, this is a very important sound in American English. Many non-native English speakers mispronounce words with this sound, especially the words usual and unusual, which are very, very common. If you are someone that pronounces the word usual as usual, I'm telling you, you are not being understood. Let me show you how to pronounce the word usual correctly. Break it up into 3 syllables. U-ju-ul. That second syllable, ju, the one with the underline, needs to be voiced. Put your hand on your throat and feel for the vibration in the second syllable. U-ju-ul. Now put it together. Usual. Usual. Like that. Okay, now try unusual. Un-u-ju-ul. Unusual. Like that. Very good. Now, let's practice some more words. It may help if you keep your hand right here on your throat to feel the vibrations. Here we go. Vision, visual, conclusion, Asia, version, division, casual, television. Very good. Now, there are only a few words that have the voiced zh sound at the end. A few of these words are the color beige, the word massage, and the word prestige. Okay, now that you are great at this, let's go over some sentences. It's not unusual for people to study division in Asia. I usually use a measuring cup to measure erosion. The beige walls were the usual color in the Treasury building. Very good. You'll find in your manual that there is a worksheet where you could list things that you would consider usual and things that you would consider to be unusual. For practice, fill this in and then read your answers out loud in full sentences, like this. It's usually hot in the summer. And it's unusual for me to be late for an appointment. Great. Well, now it's time to go and practice. You may want to wait a day or two and then watch this training session again. You'll find that seeing this video again will probably be very helpful. Okay, have fun practicing. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 5th training session. We are really moving along. In this session, we will cover the L sound, which happens to be another important speech sound. Depending on your native language, some speakers have a very difficult time with the L sound. L sounds are actually very easy. Here are a few things to remember. Number 1, when you are saying a word which begins with an L, your mouth should be wide open and your jaw should be down, like this. That's an easy one. Number 2, your tongue should rise up and push just behind your top teeth, like this. Oh, notice my mouth is open. Oh. Number 3, and this is the important part, you produce the L sound by dropping and relaxing your tongue. La, 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 like that. Now, again, you'll notice that my mouth and jaw are open. This is key. La, la, la. What I don't want you to do is to be moving your jaw along with your tongue. I don't want you to be doing this. La, la, la. Your jaw should not be moving at all. Keep it open. Here's a trick that may help you. Take your finger and put it in your mouth and pull down hard on your lower teeth and force your mouth open and your jaw down, like this. Now, while your jaw is down, bring your tongue tip all the way up behind your teeth and do this. La, la, la. My tongue is coming up, but my jaw is staying down. What you're doing is you're forcing your mouth and your lower jaw to stay open while you raise your tongue up. And that's what I want. I want your jaw to stay down, your mouth to stay open, and your tongue to rise up independently of your jaw. La, 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 like that. And that's how you produce a beautiful and clear L. Okay, let's do some practice. Repeat these words beginning with the letter L. Here we go. Lunch, local, London, learn, large, life, lobby, library, lucky, lift, laugh, long. Very good. Here are some words with L in the middle of them. When you say these words, focus on the L sound and really push them out. Inflation, believe, volume, glue, elevator, solve, pulling, flood, delete, elect, alive, color. Okay, let's talk about when L falls at the end of a word. This is a big problem for many foreign speakers, so pay close attention to this. To produce an L sound at the end of a word, keep in mind that the sound of the L comes from the movement of the tongue rising. It does not come from the placement of the tongue, but from the actual movement. Watch me as I say this word. Hill. The L comes from the movement of my tongue. You may want to use that finger trick again. Put your finger in your mouth, pull down on your lower teeth, and slowly say the word. The only thing that should be moving is your tongue should be coming up. Hell. Your jaw should not be moving at all. Let your tongue rise up. Hell. If you're having difficulty, practice this in front of a mirror and watch your jaw and your tongue. And be sure you don't produce the L sound by closing your mouth, which many foreign speakers do. Hell, hell. See how my mouth is closing? Hell. You don't want to do that. That produces a weak L, and to an American listener, it is not clear, and you may not be understood. Let's start and practice these words ending with L's. Here we go. Will, ball, tall, call, small, control, bowl, apple, miracle, powerful, control, financial, people. Notice in this last word, people, it's not pronounced people with your tongue not moving. It's people with your tongue slowly moving up and your jaw remaining down. Stretch out that L sound. People, like that. Here are some sentences that have many L's in them. Listen careful to my example and then repeat. Don't forget to push your tongue behind your upper teeth and to use strong L sounds. Here we go. The lollipop fell into the cool water. Her driver's license was pulled out of the blue golf bag. Blake's bowling ball fell under his tools. Carl could not locate the lemons or the limes. The school was a mile away from the hill. The golf club was made of steel. Al's goal was to play baseball with Carol. A certified letter was delivered for the enrollment list. It was revealing to look at the smiling lawyer. Very good. Now let's try reciting this poem with FL blends. Here we are combining two sounds that we have already covered, the F sound and now the L sound. Don't forget to first bite your lip for that F, like that, and then quickly push your tongue up and against your teeth for the L to create the FL blend. Fly, like that. Okay? Let's try this slowly. A flea and a fly flew up in a flue. Said the flea, let us fly. Said the fly, let us flee. So they flew through a flaw in the flue. Okay, let's do that one more time, this time a little bit faster. A flea and a fly flew up in a flue. Said the flea, let us fly. Said the fly, let us flee. So they flew through a flaw in the flue. Very good. Okay, these next sentences all have the word will in them. The word will may be difficult for you because it has that final L sound. Remember, try to keep your mouth open, your jaw down as your tongue rises up. By doing this, you will produce a good final L sound. Again, if you're having difficulty, try looking in a mirror. Use your finger and push down on your bottom teeth as you say the word will, like that. This will force you to keep your bottom jaw down as your tongue moves up. Here we go. Will you empty the garbage? Will you ask her to clean the kitchen? Will you prepare a meal for the children? When will you begin your studies at college? When will she purchase the dress for her wedding? Why will he ask them to stay late at work? Why will she bring her baby to the meeting? How will they know if our flight is delayed? Where will the child be going next year? Where will they put all of the pillows? What will she do with the millions of dollars she won? Very good. Now, some Japanese and Chinese speakers in particular have difficulty distinguishing between the L sound and the R sound. Now that we have covered both of these sounds, I would like to go over some paired words containing these sounds. Keep in mind, when you produce an L, your tongue moves forward and up behind your teeth. Oh. When you produce an R sound, your lips move forward, but your tongue moves all the way back. Basically, the L and the R are completely opposite sounds. Listen carefully and repeat these paired words. Red, lead, rick, lick, reef, leaf, rear, leer, rest, less, grass, glass, crime, climb, free, flee. Very good. Okay, I call these next words LR combinations. These words and phrases have an L sound and an R sound right next to each other. This forces you to make a clear L and then roll it right into a strong R. Here we go. Repeat after me. Seal ring, toll road, already, civil rights, railroad, rivalry, coral reef, jewelry, schoolroom, gravel road. Very good. As you can see, L's are a very important sound when it comes to speaking understandable English. You should review this material a few times for practice. Have fun, and I'll see you next time. I'm Paul Gruber with the Pronunciation Workshop. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 6th training session. In this session, we will cover word endings. Often people who speak English as a second language drop the endings or final sounds off of their words, or they do not pronounce these final sounds correctly. If this is done consistently in conversation, chances are you will not be understood. I've noticed that the majority of my clients clip off the endings of words without even realizing that they are doing this. What I mean by clip off is when saying words, a common mistake that foreign speakers make is that they drop off the last sound in a word, especially those words that end in a B, P, D, or a T. For example, in the word job, you may be saying job without a B sound, or the B is so weak you don't even hear it. I have a good job. You see that? You did not hear the B sound. For cap, you may be saying cap. I am wearing a cap, and you don't hear the P sound. For bed, you may be saying bed. I sleep in a bed, and there's no D. For the word plate, you may be saying plate. I eat on a plate, and you don't hear the T sound. The problem is your listener is not hearing that last consonant sound. And if the person you're speaking with does not hear what the last sound is in your words, they'll constantly be guessing as to what you're trying to say. Therefore, don't drop off the endings. Make sure that the final sounds come through clearly and fully. Do not shorten them. Let's practice these following sentences and be aware not to drop the endings off. We're going to start with words ending with P. I hope the group will sleep on the ship. The soda pop spilled out of the cup over the map and onto her lap. Was the egg drop soup cheap? Very good. Now, another mistake that foreign speakers make is unvoicing a sound when it should be voiced. For example, job ends in a B, which is a voiced sound. Job. It's not jop with an unvoiced P. Keep the voicing going throughout the whole word. Job with a voiced B ending. Same thing with robe. Also has a voiced B ending. It's not rope with an unvoiced P. It's robe. Okay? Let's go over these sentences ending with B's. We cleaned the cobweb from the doorknob near the bathtub. Rob broke his golf club when he slipped on the ice cube. The crab was under the cement slab at the yacht club. The ticket stub was found in the taxi cab. Now T endings. Make sure the T's come through clearly. Kate left her cat on the mat as she flew a kite. The sailboat came into the port to join the fleet. What bait will make the fish bite? A cricket or a piece of meat? Very good. Now also remember to add voicing to words with D endings. Bed has a voiced D ending. It's not bet with an unvoiced T, it's bed with a voiced D. Road also has a voiced D ending. Road. It's not wrote, unvoiced, it's road. The whole word is voiced. Let's go over these sentences ending with voiced Ds. Fred will decide which sled should be painted red. David tried to send a refund back to England. He could not hide his report card behind the chalkboard. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about ED endings. Many verbs that are in the past tense end with ED. For example, clean. Today I clean. Yesterday I cleaned. Now ED endings have similar rules as the S and Z endings that we discussed in the second session. Here's the first rule, and probably you already do this correctly. If a word ends in an unvoiced consonant, all we do is add an unvoiced T. So let's look at the word jump, for example. The final sound in jump is a P, which is unvoiced. So when you put it in the past tense, all you do is add a T. So jump becomes jumped with a T sound at the end. Jumped. Of course, the word is spelled with an ed ending. It's just pronounced as a T. Jumped, like that. The word walk, which has an unvoiced K sound at the end, walk, becomes walked. Yesterday I walked. Here's the second rule. If a word ends in a voiced consonant, you add a voiced D. In other words, you keep the whole word voiced. So for example, the word rub ends with a voiced B. Rub. Today I rub. Yesterday I rubbed. All I did was add a voiced D sound at the end. Rubbed. It's not rubbed with an unvoiced T. It's rubbed, like that. Here's another example. Clean ends with a voiced N. So today I clean. Yesterday I cleaned. I cleaned the kitchen. Pour becomes poured. I poured the milk. Scrub becomes scrubbed. I scrubbed the floor. Tag becomes tagged. I tagged the clothing. Spill ends with a voiced L sound. Spill. So it becomes spilled. I spilled the juice. Trim becomes trimmed. I trimmed the tree. Move has that voiced V sound. Move. So it becomes moved. I moved to California. Buzz becomes buzzed. The clock buzzed all night. Okay, so that's the second rule. Here is the third rule. If a word ends in a T or a D sound, we add the ending id, which is a vowel I, followed by a D, which is voiced. Id. So for example, the word lift. Lift ends with an unvoiced T. Lift. So today I lift the ball. Yesterday I lifted the ball. Lift becomes lifted. And remember in the third session we talked about when a T falls between two vowels, it turns into a D, like in the word water. Water becomes water. Remember that? Well, the same thing happens here when the T comes between two vowels. So look at this next word. Heat. The verb to heat becomes heated. I heated up my dinner. Vote becomes voted. He voted this morning. Hand becomes handed. He handed me his report. Trade becomes traded. I traded in my old car. Add becomes added. She added some information. Okay, now let's go over these exercises with ed endings. You'll notice that I put a line under all the endings that are voiced to help you remember to add voicing. Here we go. Bob raked the leaves and then started to wash his car. He then loaded up the dishwasher and finished washing his dishes. Susan spilled her drink on the spotted rug. She cleaned it up with a napkin, which wasted a lot of time. He thanked me and offered me money if I picked up the used equipment. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about words that end in ng. Some people who speak English as a second language have gotten into the bad habit of adding a K release sound, k, k, like that, after an ng ending. For example, in the word ring, it becomes ring, k. The word walking becomes walking, k. The word talking becomes talking, like that. That is not right. The problem is there's just this little K sound at the end of the ing sound. Don't do this. It is not right and it does not sound good. Let's talk about the ng sound. There are 3 nasal sounds in English. Nasal sounds are sounds which come out of your nose. Those 3 nasal sounds are M, N, N, and NG. Ing, like that. Let me show you something. Try to say the M sound, while closing off your nose. You see, you cannot do it because the M sound comes out of your nose. It's a nasal sound. Same thing with the NG sound. Ing comes out of your nose. It's a combination of an N and a G, and it is found at the ends of words like ring and sing. And I want you to realize that there is not a K sound. There is not a K sound. The word is not walking, it's walking with that NG ending, okay? Walking. Let's practice these sentences with NG endings. Here we go. I have a feeling that she is working too much. She has been wearing a hearing aid so that she could sing. He is looking forward to speaking at the Thanksgiving celebration. Very good. Well, that is it for today's session. I hope that you've been enjoying this program so far and are beginning to notice some improvements in the way you are speaking English. I'll bet you are sounding much better already. Have fun practicing those ending sounds, and I'll see you at the next session. I'm Paul Gruber with the Pronunciation Workshop. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 7th training session. In this session, we will cover the CH sound, ch, the American J sound, j, and then later on, the H sound, h. Okay, first let's start with the CH. It's a common sound in English. It's a combination of the T sound, t, and the SH sound, sh. When you put these 2 sounds together, you get a ch, ch. It's an unvoiced sound, and you can hear the sound, for example, at the beginning and at the end of the word church. Church. See that? Now, if you take this CH sound and you keep everything in your mouth the same, you just add voicing, it becomes an American J sound. J, j. CH, ch, unvoiced, J, voiced. J, ch, j. You see that? Everything here stays the same. You just add voicing for the J. This voiced J sound comes at the beginning and at the end of the word judge. Judge. Now, the mistake that many foreign speakers make is that they unvoice the J sound at the end of a word. So, for example, many foreign speakers would pronounce the word judge as judge, turning that last sound into an unvoiced CH. Judge. And that is not right. The J sound in American English is always voiced. J, j, judge, like that. For you Spanish speakers, whenever you see the letter J in English, it always makes this J sound. It's never a Y sound, never. So, for example, the word job has a J at the beginning. Job. It's never yob, my yob. It's always my job with a strong J sound. Job, my job, like that. Okay? Let's do some practice. Let's start with some CH words. First with CH at the beginning of a word. Here we go. China, cherry, charge, chocolate, challenge, cheese, chunk, chairman. Now with CH falling in the middle. Keychain, lunchbox, Richard, picture. That's a tricky one. It's 2 syllables. You pronounce it picture, picture. Teacher, fortune, nature, beach ball. Now with CH at the ends of words. Detach, teach, porch, march, patch, wrench. Notice the strong R sound at the beginning of that word. Wrench. Coach. Approach. Also with a strong R sound. Approach. Very good. Let's try this exercise. Chop, chop, children. It's Charlie's Kitchen Adventure. Today, Chuck will be teaching future champion cooks how to make a chocolate cheesecake. Very good. Okay, now let's practice words with the voiced American J sound. We'll start with the J sound at the beginning of words. Keep in mind that these sounds can be spelled with both the letter J or the letter G. Here we go. Juice, jump, juggle, jury, Japan, giant, genetic, junior, generate, German. Now in the middle of words. Algebra, legend, magic, subject, digest, rejoice, objective, majesty, educate. That has also an unusual pronunciation. Let me break it down for you. Educate, educate. Next one, suggestion. This one's also a bit tricky. Suggestion, suggestion. Very good. Now the American J sound at the ends of words. Be sure to keep the voicing going throughout the whole word. Age. It's not H, it's age with a voiced ending. College. Postage. Stage. Pledge. Village. Average. Page. Courage. Knowledge. Very good. Now, this paragraph coming up is filled with American J sounds. Don't forget to voice those endings. Here we go. A German judge and jury have charged and jailed a strange giant who sat on the edge of a bridge throwing jelly onto large barges. Very good. You know, later on in this course, you will get a lot more practice using these sounds in connected speech. But for now, I'd like to cover H sounds when they come at the beginning of words. When an H is at the beginning of a word, it is pronounced with a strong, loud airstream. You should first breathe in and then loudly out. Like that. Now add the vowel ah. Ha, ha. Do you hear that air sound? Now this may not pertain to you, but many foreign speakers tend to drop that air sound when a word begins with the letter H. For example, instead of saying the word hand, they would say and, like my right and. By not putting in that H sound with a loud airstream, your speech can be very difficult to understand. Let's practice some of these words beginning with an H. You may want to put your hand in front of your mouth for this exercise. You should be able to feel the airstream come out onto the palm of your hand, like that. Note that some words in English that begin with the letter W are also pronounced just like an H. Here we go. hand, hide, hope, hair, house, Harvard, honey, happy, who, whole. Let's go over some of these word pairs. The first word in the pair does not have an H sound. The second word does have an H sound. Here we go. Repeat after me. Old, hold, is, his, it, hit, at, hat, arm, harm, ill, hill, ate, hate, as, has. Now, try these words with a strong H sound in the middle. Ahead, behave, anyhow, inhale, downhill, dehydrate, wholehearted, overhaul. Now let's do these H practice sentences using the word he. For each of these sentences, you will be using the same opening phrase. Focus on clear and loud H sounds in the word he. He thought that he should wash the car. He thought that he should thank the teacher. He thought that he should watch television. He thought that he should use the telephone. He thought that he should shut the door. He thought that he should breathe deeply. He thought that he should tell the truth. Good. Okay, now let's try this. Henry, the hungry hippo who hogged a huge heap of 100 hamburgers, has had hiccups for 1 whole week. Very good. Okay, before we end today's session, let's talk about how you are supposed to incorporate all this material that I'm giving you into your spoken English. As you're seeing, there is a lot I'm teaching you and a lot to remember. Don't try so hard to put everything into use. Instead, just focus on what it is you're saying. You'll find that by taking this program, the more you speak English, the more you will become aware of when you have pronounced something incorrectly. I've said this before, it is this awareness of your mistakes that will eventually help you to change and improve the way you are speaking automatically. So I want you to keep on practicing, but just sit back and relax and watch as your English pronunciation continues to improve. I hope you had a good time. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session when we're going to begin working on vowels.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 8th training session. Today we will begin to work on vowel sounds. I know that vowel sounds are often difficult for non-native speakers. One reason is that there are 5 vowel letters in English, A, E, I, O, and U. But there are around 15 vowel sounds, and some vowels have as many as 10 different spellings. So that's why it is so difficult. When someone learns English as a second language, what they often do is substitute vowel sounds from their first language into their newly learned English. And when these vowel sounds are spoken incorrectly, it may often cause you to be misunderstood. That's why in these next few sessions, I'll be teaching you the correct way to pronounce American English vowels. Now, vowel sounds are made by slightly changing the size, shape, and the tension of the muscles in your mouth, your tongue, and your lips. A small change can produce an entirely different sound. Instead of giving you diagrams of tongue placement, how round your lips should be, or how far you should open your mouth, I believe the best way to learn American vowels is by ear training. Ear training is learning vowel sounds just by listening and then reproducing them on your own. To help teach you the American vowel sounds, I will separate them into two groups, front vowels and back vowels. When your tongue rises up in the front, it's a front vowel. When your tongue rises up in the back, it's a back vowel. Let's start by going over the basic front and back vowel sounds. My goal right now is to just have you hear the sounds. You do not need to memorize this. First, front vowels. Listen carefully. Don't repeat, just listen. These sounds move from what I call high to low. Here we go. E, I, A, ah. Notice with each of these vowels, my jaw is opening a little bit more and more. Let's do it again. Listen carefully. E, which is a difficult one for many people. A, ah. Now this time I'd like you to repeat. E, ah. E, ah. Now, I put them in word forms to make it a little bit easier. Repeat after me. E as in heat. As in hit. A as in hate. As in het, which is a nonsense word. And as in hat. Heat, hit, hate, het, hat. Heat, hit, hate, het, hat. Okay, now let's do back vowels. Again, vowel sounds move from high to low. Here we go. Ooh, oh, aw, ah. Again, and notice how my jaw is opening on each one. And also notice how my lips are coming forward all the way on the ooh sound. You see that? Ooh. Ooh, oh, aw, ah. Okay, now repeat it with me. Ooh, oh, aw, ah. Ooh, oh, aw, ah. Now let's put these sounds into word forms. Ooh as in boot. Oh as in book. Oh as in boat. Aw as in bought. And ah as in bot, which is a nonsense word. Boot, book, boat, bought, bot. Again, boot, book, boat, bought, bot. Boot, book, boat, bought, bot. Very good. Now let's go back a little bit to front vowels. I'd like to address the E sound in the word heat and the sound as in the word hit. Most of the foreign speakers that I work with make many errors with these two sounds, and many times they are switched. When the word should have an E, it's pronounced as an I. When it should have an it's pronounced as an E. Think of the sound E as in heat as being high up, and as in hit as being a little bit lower. One hint I could give you is when you're practicing, raise your eyebrows with E words like this, heat, and then lower your eyebrows and don't smile so much with words like hit. Heat, hit, like that. I've put together some paired words with these two sounds. Listen, compare the vowel sounds, and then repeat them back. Here we go. Heat, hit. Keen, kin. Deal, dill. Seek, sick. Seen, sin. Reap, till. Bean, bin. Let's talk about these last two words, bean and bin. Most of the time in English, when a word is spelled with a double E, it's pronounced as E, like in the word feed or seen or teen with a double E. However, in English, here is an exception. The word bean, spelled B-E-A-N, which you eat, is pronounced with a high E sound. Bean. However, this word, B-E-E-N, spelled with a double E, is pronounced with a low E sound. Bin, like in the word hit. Okay, even though it's spelled with a double E, it's pronounced with the vowel sound I. So, for example, this sentence reads, I've been buying beans. Okay, we'll be going over more of this in a moment. But first, let's look at some words with the E sound. Remember, smile and think high. See, me, each, even, key, green, tree, very, happy, softly, merry, busy, finally, country. Now these sentences. Speeding on the freeway. Happily eating cheese. He and she. Skiing very rapidly. Very good. Okay, now let's try this paragraph. She sees a monkey eating honey. We see a pony stealing money. Who can he see? It must be me. Very good. Okay, now let's work on the I vowel sound. It's the same sound as in the word hit. Hit. Repeat after me. Bit, bill, lift, fizz, kitchen, build, bigger, chimp, fifth, listen, business, fist, display, filming, live, fish, discuss, fig, 50, bin. Okay, now let's go over these practice sentences which have both the E sound and the I sound. Listen and repeat these sentences after me. I'll be putting my hand up high for every E sound and lowering it for every I sound. E, I, like that. And also, all the words with E sounds are underlined. Here we go. The beans have been cooking since 6 o'clock. Sit in that seat by the window. We ate our meal by the mill. The seal will live in the ocean. Tim's team grinned after seeing the green field. Pip and Pete shipped the sheep cheaply. Those bins are for Bill's beans. Does Jim still steal Jill's jeans? The girls put concrete on Jill's sneakers. Pick cherries at their peak, or you will eat the pits. Very good. Now, I know these vowels can be very tricky. It's probably a good idea to review this video a few times. Some of you may have noticed that you've been mispronouncing many words incorrectly using wrong vowel sounds. For example, earlier we spoke about the pronunciation of the words heat and hit. and how the sounds are often switched. So if you say, he heat the baseball and felt the hit, I want you to realize that that's not right. What's correct is, he hit the baseball and felt the heat. Okay, so keep on practicing. Believe me, you will eventually get very good at this. Thanks for watching. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 9th training session. I hope things have been going well. Today, we will be addressing the O and the A vowel sounds. Also, most foreign speakers do not know how to correctly pronounce the 50 American states. In fact, many times when non-native speakers try to name the states, they are not even close to how they are supposed to sound. Therefore, in today's session, I'm going to show you how to correctly pronounce all 50 of the United States. Hopefully this will come in very handy. Let's get started. Let's begin with the American O sound. Many foreign speakers do not pronounce the American O correctly, and very often the O sounds like an ah. So for example, the word open sounds like oppen, and there's no such word and people may not understand you. So let me teach you how to properly pronounce the O. First thing that I'd like to talk about is what I call the hidden W. I have found this to be the best way to teach foreign speakers how to pronounce the O sound correctly. When an American speaker makes an O, we end the vowel with a small W sound. Watch this. O, whoa, whoa, whoa. O, O, O. You notice how my lips are all the way forward and the front of my lips are opening and closing like the front of a trumpet. O, 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 O. And you hear that little W sound in there, like wah, wah, wah. That's what you need to make a good O sound. O, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a little hidden W at the very end. Now, another way you can approach this is to bring your lips forward, use a strong W, and say the word wee, like that. Now, put an O in front of it and connect the two. O, wee. Now that you've done that, now just drop the E vowel. O. And you've got a perfect O sound. O. So now, when you want to say this word, you're not saying oppen with an ah, you're using that hidden W, you're bringing your lips forward and you're saying open, open, like that. So let's practice some of these words with the O sound. Repeat after me. Let's start with open, oatmeal, blown, bold, owner, phone, cold, robe. Remember to bring your lips forward on that R. Robe. Very good. Coach, rotate, loan, slow, road, roam. Now let's do some sentences. How did you know that? I don't know where the hole is on the coat. Does Joe know how to drive on the road? I need to blow my nose when I have a cold. Has it ever snowed in Rhode Island? Okay, now try this. Cold winds will slowly blow snow over most of Ohio. This low is no joke, so folks, don't go out without coats. Very good. Now, I want to tell you about two words that you are probably saying wrong. And these words are woke and won't. Most foreign speakers mispronounce these two words. Instead of saying woke, when they say it, it sounds like walk. So instead of saying I just woke up, it sounds like I just woke up. And that is not good. And instead of saying the word won't, it sounds like they're saying want. So instead of saying I won't go, it sounds like they're saying I want go. So it sounds like you want to go when you're actually saying you won't go. So listen carefully, because I'm about to give you great information on how to say these words correctly, and you are not going to learn this anywhere else. Here we go. If you were riding a horse and you want the horse to stop or to slow down, if you remember, we're taught to say, whoa, whoa, right? Now watch my mouth when I say that. Whoa. There's a W sound at the beginning of that, but there's also a hidden W sound at the end. Whoa. And my mouth is also very forward and tight. Whoa, 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 right? Say it with me. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is exactly the sound you need to make to say the words woke and won't correctly. So here's what you do to say the word woke. First, say whoa with the W sound at the beginning and at the end, and then you just add the K sound. K. Whoa, k, like that. Put it together, and you've got woke, woke. I just woke up, like that. Very good. Now won't. First say whoa with the W sound at the beginning and at the end, and then you add nt. Whoa, nt. Now you put it together. Won't. I won't go. Like that. Won't. Let's practice these exercises comparing the words want, woke, and won't. I want the ball. I won't give you the ball. She wants to sleep. She woke up. He wants to buy a car. He won't buy a car. They want to speak with you. He won't speak with you. Very good. Okay, now let's work on A sounds. If you listen carefully, you will hear that this sound is a combination of two vowel sounds. You start with an A, and then you glide up to an E. A, A. Notice how my mouth also closes a little bit at the end of the vowel. A. And notice it's not E as in egg. It's not the S sound. It's A. A as in age. Think high. It's a high vowel. Okay, let's go over some of these words. Here we go. Age, aid, ate, able, chain, date, 18, fake, lazy, made, baby, gain, change, gave, nation, day, paper, angel, basic, face. Okay, now let's do these sentences. The ape gave the trainer a cane. David began shaving when he was 18. The rainbow appeared when daylight changed. The baby snake lived in a painted cage. My neighbor's basement was changed from blue to beige. Okay, now try this. Hey, take away the strain. Weigh the gains of a great break with lazy day vacations. Lines are open 8 till late. They aim to make your day. Very good. You know, by improving your O and A vowel sounds, it will really make a huge difference in your speech, and people will have a much easier time understanding you. Okay, now for something new. How to pronounce the names of the 50 American states. Many of my clients have often asked me to help them out and provide them with correct pronunciation, so I thought this may be helpful for you as well. The names of many states are difficult to pronounce, especially the ones with R and L sounds in them. When saying them, if you see an R, don't forget to use strong R sounds. And if you see an L, don't forget to use strong L sounds with your tongue tip rising up in the front, right behind your teeth. Like that. Okay? You'll notice that there's a line under the syllable in each state which receives the most stress to make it a little bit easier for you to pronounce. Okay, let's go. These states are in alphabetical order. Repeat after me. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. The final S is silent. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois. The final S is silent. Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Very good. Now, as you know, the United States is a large country, and each state is unique and has a lot to offer. If you haven't done much traveling yet in the United States, I hope someday you get to see how beautiful this country really is. Well, that's it for today. Now go and practice, and please feel free to review today's session again if you like. Thank you for watching. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 10th training session. Today, we will work on more vowel sounds, the vowels oo, and eh. Now, a few sessions ago, we discussed front and back vowels. If you remember, the back vowels we discussed were oo, o, and ah. Oo as in boot, as in book, O as in boat, as in bought, and as in bot, which is a nonsense word. So let's talk about the first one now. Ooh, ooh. The oo sound is in the word move. Notice how my lips are puckered, tight, and forward. Ooh, move. If you don't bring your lips tight and forward, you are not going to make the correct sound. And if you don't do this right, the oo will sound like and move will sound like move. And that is no good. Practice these words with me, making sure your lips are coming forward and that you're getting that clear oo sound. Here we go. Blue, booth, news, juice, loosen, ruler, food, choose, mood, moving, loop, new, tooth, smooth, pool, moon, shoes, zoo, grew, room. Good. Okay, now let's go over these sentences. The room in the school was very cool. Tuesday at noon in the studio. Viewing the moon on June nights. Good. Okay, now let's try this paragraph. Do you remember the woman who lived in a shoe? She hadn't a clue what to do when her family grew. Well, through your help, they are moving in June into 2 big boots. Very good. Now, at times, you know, English pronunciation can be very confusing. Here is one of those times. There are many words that are spelled with a double O, as we just went over. And in most of these words, the vowels are pronounced as oo. However, here's the confusing part. There are also many words that are spelled with a double O, but they are not pronounced with an oo vowel. They are pronounced as which is a lower vowel. Let me show you. The word food has a double O, and it's pronounced as oo, food, okay? But the word foot is also spelled with a double O, but it is pronounced with a lower vowel sound. Foot. Food, foot. Food, foot. You hear that? There's a whole bunch of words spelled with that double O but are pronounced with that lower vowel Let's practice some of those words now. Here we go. Foot, took, cook, shook, stood, good, look, book, wool, swoosh. Very good. Now, another word that gives many foreign speakers difficulty is the word wood, regardless of the spelling, as in it's made of wood, or would you help me, or the city of Hollywood, California. The vowel sound in wood is also a lower vowel, same sound as in the word foot, wood, foot. What makes it difficult for many people is the W at the beginning. I've seen many foreign speakers just drop that W sound. The word is not ood without a W, it's wood. Your lips need to be tight and forward, and you need to push out that W sound. Would, like that. Now, say this sentence with me. Here we go. Would you please order the wood from Hollywood? Very good. Okay, notice also that the word good has the same vowel sound as the word wood and foot. Very good. Okay? Let's practice these sentences with the oo and the vowel sounds. To help you out, all the words that have high oo sounds appear in red. Here we go. He took a good look under the hood and found a flute. Julie enjoys good books after school. He put his foot in the new boot. She took her students to the brook to wash their shoes. We pulled him out of the swimming pool. The fool ate until he was full. Very good. Now let's do a new vowel sound. Let's cover the sound. Is in the word egg. Okay? It's made with the front of the tongue low. Listen carefully and try to copy that sound. Egg, egg. Okay? Let's go over some words with that sound in them. Here we go. Egg, get, friend, next, entrance, better, healthy, lettuce, wrench, spread, best, ready, every, red, exit, check, fence, headset, necklace, wealth. Now let's go over these sentences. Resting on the edge of the bed. 10 letters from the enemy. Dennis will enter the festival. The message was given to the chef. Very good. Okay, now let's try this. Hello again, friends. Let's do a weather check. Well, whoever said temperatures are getting better, better get ready to spend a wet weekend in Tennessee. Great. You know, generally vowels take a longer time to master, but if you hear the sounds I'm giving you and understand the concepts, eventually you will be saying all of these vowels correctly. Remember, practicing does help. Well, that's it for today's session. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 11th training session. Today, we will work on 3 vowel sounds. A as in hat, ow as in out, and ah as in top. Okay, the first vowel sound that I want to address is a as in hat. It is the last front vowel. You may remember the front vowels that we went over. E, I, a, and a. Well, that last sound, a, as in hat, that's the sound that we are covering today. Listen carefully. It's not ah, it's a, hat. Your mouth has to be wide open. Listen very carefully and practice these words with me. Back, dad, fax, value, sat, hatch, jacket, taxi, apple, catch, rabbit, tack. Okay, now try these sentences. The fat cat wore a jacket. Pack your sack and bring your magnet. He sang about an actor named Jack. Very good. Now, the next vowel sound that we're going to cover is a little bit more tricky. It's the ow sound, as in the word out or the word downtown. Many Asian speakers have difficulty with this sound. In order to say it correctly, when you begin the sound, you start it with the sound that we just went over. A, as in hat. That ah sound is what begins the ow sound. You then move your mouth forward and you close the sound sort of on a W. Ow, ow. Do you hear that? It starts with ah, but then it moves forward. Ow. Let's look at this word. Downtown. First of all, it's not downtown, which you may be saying, especially if you are from China. To correctly say this sound with proper pronunciation, here's the trick. You have to make believe the vowel begins with the ah sound, as in hat. Once you have that sound, then you close it. Ow, down, town, like that. You see, if you don't begin the vowel with the ah sound in hat, you will never say it correctly. Okay, now the whole word. Downtown. With practice, you'll be able to say these sounds perfectly. You just have to remember that even though down and other words like it are spelled with an O, you still attack the vowel with that A sound in hat. Downtown, like that. Let's practice these words slowly, and as you are saying them, keep that ah sound in the back of your mind. Now, house, round, loud, gown, sound, ouch, out, found, south, ounce, rebound, mouth, bounce, flower, thousand, spout, count. Okay, now try these sentences. The brown couch is downstairs. Her house is on the south side of the mountain. I was proud of the sounds that came out of my mouth. If these vowels sound strange to you, just listen when American speakers talk and you'll start to notice that this is exactly how we pronounce our words. Okay, new topic. How to pronounce the words are and our. You may not have known that there is a pronunciation difference between these two words because many people pronounce are and our exactly the same. This is not correct, however. Let me show you how to pronounce these words correctly. The first word are has a strong R sound at the end. Are you going? The second word, our, has that ow sound like in the word out, and it sort of has a hidden W in the middle. Our. Think of the word our as having two syllables. 1, 2. Our, like that. Our car is over there. Also, while we are on the subject, note the word hour that is used for telling time is pronounced exactly the same way as in our meeting is in 1 hour. Okay? Let's practice these sentences. Are you going to our house? Sales are down, but our projections for next year are very good. Our plans will be changing in the next hour. Are you sure that our meeting will be an hour late? Very good. Okay, here is another example of when English pronunciation can become very confusing. Did you know that there are words in English that are spelled with an O but are pronounced as ah? So even though these words that I'm about to show you are all spelled with an O, we pronounce all of these vowels with an ah. Here we go. Hot. You see, it's not hot, it's ah. Hot. Top. Stop. Probably. Follow. Not. Blob. Sock. Mop. Product. Solve. Problem. Okay, let's practice these sentences. Note that I put a line under all the words which have an ah sound. Bob opened the box and followed the instructions. Tom put some cotton, rocks, and a doorknob in his locker. My mom made a concrete model of a hockey rink. Very good. You may want to watch this session again, especially the part when I talk about the ow sound in words like downtown. Okay? Now go practice and I'll see you at our next session. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and we've made it to the Pronunciation Workshop's 12th training session. I hope that you have begun to notice some really good improvements in your speech. I also hope that these sessions have been giving you a bit more confidence when you speak English. Today we're going to have some fun. We will work with English tongue twisters. Tongue twisters can be found in almost all languages. They are sequences of words and phrases which are difficult to pronounce because they have many different consonant sounds with very slight variations. They are a lot of fun and they're perfect for practicing some of the learned techniques that we have covered in this program. Tongue twisters can be very tricky. They will force you to concentrate even harder on some of the new sounds that you are learning. I will give them to you both slowly and then a little faster. Listen carefully to my pronunciation, then pause the video and then repeat them back. Okay, this first one is called Fuzzy Wuzzy. In this tongue twister, we are addressing F sounds, F, W sounds, W, as well as voiced Z sounds, Z. All the voiced Z sounds are underlined to help you out a little bit. Here we go. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy. Was he? Very good. Okay, now pause the video here and practice it back. Now I'm going to give you the same thing a little bit faster. Here we go. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy. Was he? Very good. Okay, this next one has many voiced V sounds. V sounds. Don't forget to bite your lower lip and feel that vibration when you make this sound. Like that. First slow. Here we go. Vincent vowed vengeance very viciously. Now a little bit faster. Vincent vowed vengeance very viciously. Good. This next one is called Peter Piper. It's one of the more famous tongue twisters. You may have heard this one before. There are many P sounds. Before I begin, note the L sound in the word pickled. Don't forget to bring your tongue up on that L, keeping your jaw open, like that. Okay? Here we go. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many peppers did Peter Piper pick? Okay, pause the video here and then repeat it back. Okay, now I'm going to do Peter Piper, this time a little faster. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many peppers did Peter Piper pick? Very good. Okay, this next tongue twister is also well known. It contains SH sounds, sh, S sounds, s, as well as voiced Z sounds, z. Also, notice the E vowel sounds in the word seashore and she. It's not sh, it's she with that high E vowel sound, okay? Also, remember the words sure and surely are both pronounced with that American SH sound. Shh. Okay, here we go. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are surely seashells. So if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells. Very good. I'll say that again a little faster now. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are surely seashells. So if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells. Very good. Okay, this next one has many W sounds, w, many CH sounds, ch, as well as many final consonant sounds. Do not forget to bring your lips forward on the word would. Would. Keep it tight. Would. Here we go. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck, he would, as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Very good. Okay, let's do that a little faster now. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck, he would, as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Very good. Okay, here are a few tongue twisters to give you practice with W sounds. Here we go. Which, wished, which, wicked, wish. That's a tough one. Let's do that again a little faster. Notice how my lips are coming tightly forward very quickly for each of those W words. Here we go. Which, wished, which, wicked, wish. Here's another one with W words. While we were walking, we were watching window washers wash Washington's windows with warm washing water. Notice how my lips move on the phrase we were. We were. My lips are coming quickly forward on those words to create clear W sounds. We were, like that. Let's do that whole thing again a little faster. While we were walking, we were watching window washers wash Washington's windows with warm washing water. I love that one. Okay, here is another one. If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? That's another very good one. Here it is a little bit faster. If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? Very good. This next one is great to practice your R sounds. Like the W sounds we just covered, make sure your lips are coming forward for each R word. Here we go. Roberta ran rings around the Roman ruins. Let's do that a little faster. Roberta ran rings around the Roman ruins. Very good. This next one is a little bit tricky. It's good practice for BR and BL blends. Also, do not forget the TH in the word bath brush. Here we go. Bradley's big black bath brush broke. Bradley's big black bath brush broke. Let's do that a little bit faster. Bradley's big black bath brush broke. Bradley's big black bath brush broke. Very good. Okay, here are a few tongue twisters with the TH sounds. All I can say about these is don't forget to stick your tongue out between your teeth and be sure to make a loud air friction sound. Like that. Okay? Here we go. Tom threw Tim 13 thumbtacks. Tom threw Tim 13 thumbtacks. He threw 3 free throws. A free throw is a basketball term, a free throw. He threw 3 free throws. There are 33,000 birthdays on the 3rd of every month. There are 33,000 birthdays on the 3rd of every month. In this next one, remember that the word smooth is an exception and ends with a voiced TH sound. Smooth. Okay? The father gathered smooth feathers for Thanksgiving. The father gathered smooth feathers for Thanksgiving. The sixth graders are enthusiastic about Jonathan's birthday. The sixth graders are enthusiastic about Jonathan's birthday. This next one has GR and GL blends. Remember to bring your lips forward on the GRs, grr, and bring your tongue up on the GLs, gla, like that. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Green glass globes glow greenly. Green glass globes glow greenly. Very good. This next one has only 2 words in it, but it can be very tricky. It will really get your mouth going. It has the oo vowel sound as well as a lot of L's. Here we go. Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. Here it is faster. Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. Oh, and in case you're wondering, linoleum is a washable floor covering. It's often used for flooring in kitchens. Okay, in this next one, the last word is won't. Do you remember what I told you about saying won't correctly with the hidden W? Remember, first say whoa, whoa, with a W at the beginning and the end, and then add the nt, and keep your lips and mouth forward. Won't. Like that, won't. I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Let's try that again. I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Very good. Okay, we've come to the last exercise. This last one has the word woke. Remember what I told you about woke? It's just like the word won't with that hidden W. You first say whoa with a W at the beginning and the end, and then you add a K. Woke, woke, like that. I woke, he woke, she woke, they woke, we all woke up. Now a little bit faster. I woke, he woke, she woke, they woke, we all woke up. Very good, very good. Okay, well, we made it to the end. I hope you thought this was fun and at the same time productive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 13th training session. In this session, we will cover phrase reductions and intonation. Okay, what do I mean by phrase reductions? Well, in conversational English, words are often broken down or not fully pronunciated. 2 and 3 words are sometimes squeezed together to create easy-to-say phrases. I'll show you what I mean. Look at this phrase, going to try. When we reduce the phrase, it becomes gonna try. All we do is combine the words. I'm gonna try to finish this book. Repeat it with me. Gonna try. Want to eat becomes wanna eat. Do you want to eat at 7 o'clock? Repeat with me. Want to eat? Have to start becomes have to start. I really have to start studying for that test. Repeat. Have to start. Has to try becomes has to try. He has to try harder. Repeat. Has to try. got to leave becomes gotta leave. I really gotta leave in 15 minutes. Repeat, gotta leave. Ought to believe becomes ought to believe. She really ought to believe what he is saying. Repeat, ought to believe. Out of bed becomes out of bed. I got out of bed when I heard the alarm clock. Repeat, out of bed. Did you go becomes did you go. Did you go to the store? Repeat, did you go. Would he help becomes would he help? Would he help me move the furniture? Repeat, would he help? Won't you play becomes won't you play? And don't forget about that correct O sound in the word won't. Won't you play one more song on the piano? Repeat, won't you play? Didn't you know becomes didn't you know? Didn't you know that she was coming home tomorrow? Repeat, didn't you know? Is he becomes is he? Is he the one that called? Repeat, is he? What do you want becomes what do you want? Repeat, what do you want? Give it to me becomes give it to me. Give it to me right now. Repeat, give it to me. Very good. You'll find the better you get at speaking English, the more you will be using these phrase reductions. The key is to still be easily understood. You'll find that almost all of the rules that I have taught you, especially the ones having to do with voicing, remain the same. In the last example, give it to me, the only big change comes from the T's being pronounced as D's, and this happens because the T's fall between two vowel sounds. If you remember in American pronunciation, when T's fall between two vowels, they become voiced and are pronounced as D's. Now, even though you may at times speak quickly and use these reduced phrases in your conversations, you will still be easily understood as long as you continue to use the pronunciation rules that I've been showing you throughout this program. Okay, now we are going to talk about intonation. English is a very musical language. As we speak, our words and phrases go all the way up, and then they come all the way down, much like music does. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to give you a good example of intonation. This keeps our speech interesting, and it helps to get our message across. Now, listen to this. Many foreign-born speakers of English use a flat intonation pattern or a monotone. This can create uninteresting and misunderstood speech. Everything is very flat. Okay? I hope you can see from that example what I'm talking about. Monotone speech can be very boring and difficult to listen to. Use correct intonation to make people want to listen to you. It's generally easy to guess what country a speaker is from just by their accent. Each language has its own characteristic rhythm and melody. Some languages use a wide range of tones and changes in pitch, with the melody going up and coming down, and other languages sound very flat. These characteristics of a language are called intonation. Even though they distinguish one language from another, they are rarely taught. Now, in American English, words that carry the highest informational value in a sentence are given more emphasis with increased loudness, a higher pitch, and sometimes a longer duration. Listen to my intonation and notice how I slowly step up and then I work my way down again. Listen to the following made-up advertisement for Diane's Donuts. Listen to how the words in each sentence are stressed. Have you ever tried one of Diane's Donuts? They are so delicious. I have eaten many different kinds of donuts from all over the country. However, I have never tasted anything quite like donuts made by Diane. I have been told that she uses the finest and freshest ingredients that money can buy. The best flour, the best eggs, and the best milk. I am sure that once you taste these incredible donuts, you will run and tell all of your friends. Now, I recommend that you practice that paragraph again along with me. Do your best at emphasizing the important words by increasing your loudness as well as raising your pitch. Okay? Very good. Now let's talk about asking questions. Notice how my voice goes up at the end of a question like this. Are you sleeping? And notice how my voice comes down at the end of a sentence that is not a question, like this. He is not sleeping. Very often, if you don't use proper intonation when asking a question, the person you are speaking to won't understand that you even asked them a question to begin with. So rising up at the end of a question is very important. Okay, now let's talk about syllable stress. In words that contain more than one syllable, there is always one syllable which receives the most stress or given a higher pitch. Now, although there are many exceptions, it is most common that two-syllable words have stress on the first syllable. Let's go over some examples. Repeat after me. Sofa, oven, after, finger, station, second, enter, often, uncle, carpet, father, children, walking, jacket, lucky, comment. Good. Now here are a few two-syllable words that are stressed on the second syllable. Delete, decline, survive, protect, adopt, advance, below, resolve, advice, acquit, control, arrive, involve, massage, disease, relate. Very good. Now again, although there are exceptions, most three-syllable words are stressed on the second syllable. Reduction, arrangement, audition, companion, detective, ambitious, companion, appliance, discover, unlawful, conclusion, assemble, adjustment, affected, acceptance, ferocious. Very good. Practice using syllable stress in these sentences. The pictures are fantastic. He needs permission to find a solution. The party is in honor of his retirement. Her son exhibited bad behavior on their vacation. Very good. You know, stress and intonation can have a big impact on the meaning you are trying to get across. Let's compare some of these sentences. Joe drinks cheap wine. Sue only drinks expensive wine. Don't forget his birthday. We would never forget his birthday. She's planning to leave tomorrow. He made plans to leave a month ago. The teachers' meeting is at 9 o'clock. The students announced that they will never have a meeting. My telephone isn't working. The telephone needs to work by lunchtime. He's painting his house blue and green. Your house would look terrible if it were green. Very good. Well, I hope you had fun with this session. You may want to watch this one again and go over it a few more times. Now when you are speaking to people in English, try to bring more intonation into your conversations. You will find that you'll be better understood. Thank you for watching. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop, and I'll see you at our next session. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream.
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and we've made it to the Pronunciation Workshop's 14th training session. What I have done in these last two sessions is put together reading passages that contain all of the material covered throughout the program. In the past, my clients have often requested that I do some paragraph reading using correct American pronunciation so that they could hear and repeat and get a chance to practice everything that they have learned in the program. It's sort of like a review. I have been told many times that this is extremely helpful and aids in the overall improvement of pronunciation abilities. So therefore, this is what I have done. Today's session contains 4 short paragraphs. Each paragraph is designed to address everything that we have covered: consonants, vowels, intonation, phrase reductions, and word endings. All the components needed to speak clearly and with good pronunciation. You may want to listen to these paragraphs a few times, read along with me, and then practice your pronunciation on your own using your manual. As I told you earlier in the program, I recommend that you speak out loud a little slower than usual and try to incorporate as much of the material as you can from all the previous sessions. Now, don't worry if at first it doesn't come out perfectly. You can't possibly remember everything. It takes time. But soon you'll find that it will all come together and you will sound just great. Also, at the end of today's session, I will cover the 10 keys towards improvement, which I believe will guarantee you success in speaking with an American accent. Okay, let's begin. This first paragraph is about photo albums. Keeping a family photograph album is a good way to save family memories for yourself and future generations of your family. Very old pictures can be taken to a photo shop and reprinted so that they can be placed in an album. Be sure to write on the back of the picture any information you remember about the people in it. Also, write the date if you remember it. Looking at photo albums is a relaxing way to spend the day, and it is a fun activity to share with family and friends. Your children grandchildren, and their children will appreciate your efforts too. Okay, this next paragraph is called the public library. Your library card can be your ticket to entertainment, current events, and new ideas. Almost every city has a public library, and there is no charge for a library card. Libraries have books about many subjects, but there are also other things at the library. These include books on cassette tape, videotapes, large print books, CDs, DVDs, and magazines. Many have free programs in the afternoon or evening about travel, hobbies, or other topics of interest. Some cities also have a bookmobile or traveling library, which brings the library right into your neighborhood. Very good. Okay, this next paragraph is about John D. Rockefeller, who is a famous American. John D. Rockefeller did 3 amazing things. First, he acquired probably the greatest fortune in all history. He started out in life digging potatoes under the hot sun for 4 cents an hour. In those days, there were not half a dozen men in all the United States who were worth even $1 million. Eventually, John D. managed to collect a fortune said to be anywhere from $1 to $2 billion. And yet, the first girl he fell in love with refused to marry him. The reason given was because her mother refused to allow her daughter to throw herself away on a man who had such poor prospects. Very good. Okay, this next paragraph is called Stars. In this paragraph, be aware of my pronunciation of numbers, especially the TH and the voiced Z sound, Z, in the word thousand. Thousand, okay? Here we go. How many stars can you see on a dark, clear night? You can see about 3,000 stars with your eyes alone. But keep in mind that you are viewing only part of the sky. If the whole sky were visible, you could count about 5,000 stars. If you look through a small telescope, you might see as many as 600,000 stars. Through the most powerful telescopes, astronomers can spot millions of stars. No one is sure exactly how many stars there are altogether, but astronomers believe there are at least 200 billion stars out in space. Okay, very good. Now that we are putting it all together, I want to give you the 10 keys that I believe will guarantee you success in speaking with an American accent. Here we go. Number 1, practice and listen are the key. You can improve your pronunciation in only a few weeks, but for many people it takes longer. As I told you when we started, Practicing is important, but so is listening. As you go through your day, listen to the melody of English. English has its own rhythm and flow. It goes up and it comes down. Master that, and people will more easily understand you. Also, listen to native speakers. Imitate the way they speak. You'll see that they also follow the same speech rules that I presented throughout this program. Number 2, do not leave off the endings of your words. Say the ending of each word, especially the final S's and the final ED sounds and the final LY sounds. These sounds have a lot to do with making you better understood, especially when saying numbers clearly. Number 3, make a list of frequently used words or words related to your profession that you find difficult to pronounce. Ask a native speaker to pronounce them for you. Perhaps you may want to record those words into a mini voice recorder and play them back at a later time. Number 4, and this is a big one, open your mouth. Open your mouth more when you speak English than when you speak your native language. Native speakers of English generally open their mouths wider than speakers of other languages. People who speak English as a second language sometimes speak like this and they feel embarrassed to open their mouths too much. Trust me, if you open your mouth more, you most likely will speak slower and produce clearer speech and more intelligible English. Okay, number 5, don't be afraid to speak. Get involved in conversations. It is very important that you practice what you are learning and use these techniques that I'm teaching you to make yourself understood in all different situations. Number 6, read aloud in English for 10 to 15 minutes every day. This will help you strengthen and retrain the movement patterns of your mouth muscles that you use to produce intelligible English. It will also give you the experience to focus strictly on pronunciation without having to think about anything else. Number 7, record your own voice and listen for pronunciation errors. Now this could be just audio or audio and video. It's a really good idea to do because it will increase your awareness of pronunciation mistakes that you may not even be aware of. Number 8, watch the mouth movements of native speakers and try to imitate them. When you watch TV, look at the mouth movements of actors. Repeat what they are saying. Try to imitate the intonation and rhythm of their speech. Number 9, here's a really good tip that many of my clients do. Buy books on tape and also buy the actual book. Go to your favorite bookstore and buy a book that you will really enjoy reading on tape and then also buy the same book. Be sure that the person reading on the tape is a native-born American. This is very important so that you can hear their American pronunciation. Listen and read out loud at the same time. Maybe record yourself reading some sections of the book and compare the sound of your English with that of the speaker from the recording. Many of my clients have found this to be an extremely helpful step in improving their English. And here is the last one. Number 10 is be patient. You can change the way you speak, but it won't happen overnight. It will take time. Some people expect instant results and they give up too soon. You definitely can change the way you sound, but you must be willing to put some effort into it and you must give it time. Now go and practice the paragraphs that we covered today and I'll see you at our next session. Thank you for watching. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop. Goodbye.
The American dream does not come to those who fall asleep. The American dream
Hi, and welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 15th training session. Congratulations, you have made it to the final session. In today's session, we will continue to incorporate everything that we have covered: consonants, vowels, intonation, phrase reductions, and word endings. As I told you earlier in the program, I recommend that you speak out loud when you are practicing this material, and also try to listen really hard to my pronunciation. Try to hear it when I voice my Z endings. Zzz. Try to hear it when I pronounce a correct TH sound, th, or bring my lips forward for an R or a W sound, w. As I told you earlier, if you are able to recognize many of these speech sounds when you hear them, well, that alone is crucial in helping you speak with proper pronunciation. Now, all you've got to do is practice using these techniques in your own conversations. Okay, let's begin with some reading passages. You'll see that they start out easy and progressively become more difficult. For today, I wanted to give you some material that I thought was challenging. You will also find these passages in your workbook under Session 15. Here we go. A foreign student. When a student from another country comes to study in the United States, he has to find out for himself the answers to many questions. And he has many problems to think about. Where should he live? Would it be better living in a dormitory or in a private room off campus? Should he spend all of his time studying, or should he take advantage of the many cultural and social activities that are offered? At first, he may not feel that he fits in with the American culture. He may not feel confident when he speaks. Little by little, however, he learns how to handle himself in various situations. Finally, he begins to feel very secure and at home. Unfortunately, this long-awaited feeling doesn't develop suddenly. It takes time. Very good. Okay, the next paragraph is on volcanoes. Volcanoes are holes in the Earth's crust which allow molten rock to escape from beneath. The molten rock or lava may flow out gently, or it may be blasted high in the air with gas and ash in a violent explosion. There are 850 active volcanoes around the world. Do you know where these mountains of fire are found? 3/4 of them are found within a zone called the Ring of Fire. One edge of the zone stretches along the west coast of the Americas from Chile to Alaska. The other edge runs along the east coast of Asia from Siberia to New Zealand. 20% of these volcanoes are located in Indonesia. Other big groupings are in Japan, the Aleutian Islands, and Central America. Very good. Okay, this next paragraph is about the Chinese language. Chinese is a most unusual language. It differs from English and most other major languages in that it has hundreds of different dialects. A person who lives in one section of the vast country of China often cannot understand a fellow Chinese who lives in another section. These two major dialects are Cantonese and Mandarin. Cantonese is a southern dialect. Mandarin, a dialect that originated in northern China, is spoken by more Chinese than any other dialect. Non-Chinese people often say that the Chinese seem to sing their language. Chinese sounds as though it is sung because many words are only one syllable long, and because the tone of voice changes for each word. As in English, many words have more than one meaning. The speaker's tone of voice indicates each word's specific meaning. Even more fascinating than the variety of spoken sounds is the Chinese written language. It has no alphabet. Instead, it employs signs called characters. Each spoken word in the language is represented by a separate character. Originally, the characters were drawings that depicted the meanings of the words. But over the years, they have simplified, and most no longer look like the things they represent. Very good. Okay, this next paragraph is on the supercontinent. Around 100 to 150 million years ago, there may have been only one continent on our planet. At least that is what some Earth scientists have decided after years of research. If you look at the map of the world carefully, you can see that the present-day continents could be thought of as the pieces to a gigantic jigsaw puzzle. In your imagination, carefully put the pieces together to form the supercontinent. You will see that if you took away the South Atlantic Ocean and pressed South America and Africa together, they would fit very nicely. You could continue removing oceans and seas and put other parts of the world together quite easily until you get to those last two pieces of Australia and Antarctica. Scientists believe that the continents of Australia and Antarctica were once linked together. They may have split slowly off from the supercontinent and then separated from each other as recently as 40 million years ago. Very good. Okay, the video for this session continues on session 15, part B. Please go to that now. Session 15, part B. I'll see you there. Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Paul Gruber, and this is the Pronunciation Workshop's 15th training session, Part B. Okay, now for the grand finale. In this section, as an added bonus, what all my clients beg me for, I've included for you. The 50 most mispronounced words in American English. I give you the words, I show you how to pronounce them correctly, and then I use them in a sentence. You will find this list to be extremely beneficial. These are all pretty common words, and many of them are often used in professional situations, like offices and universities. I hope you find this list to be helpful. Here are the words in alphabetical order. Accounting, ow, like down. He works in the accounting department. Argue. It's not argue, it's argue. There's a hidden Y. I don't argue with my coworkers. Actually. It's not actually with a CH, it's actually with an SH sound. Actually. Actually, I left you a message. Available with a strong V. V. It also has 4 syllables. Available. Available. Those shoes are not available in your size. Arrangements. Use a strong R followed by the J sound. Arrangements. We made arrangements to meet after work. Basically, there are 3 syllables. Basically. Basically. It's basically a good idea. Business. Most Americans pronounce this word with 2 syllables. Business. Her business does very well. Calls. Bring your tongue up for that L. Calls. She calls me every day. Complete. This has a strong L in the second syllable. Complete. We will complete our project. Continue. 3 syllables. Last syllable has a hidden Y. Continue. His classes will continue next month. Contribute. 3 syllables. Contribute. We will contribute our time. Corporation. 4 syllables. The third syllable has a very strong R. She works for a huge corporation. Differences. 3 syllables. And the second syllable begins with a strong R. Differences. There are many differences between us. Directly. 3 syllables. And most Americans drop the T. Directly. She is directly responsible. Exactly. 3 syllables. Exactly. It's exactly what we always wanted. Educational. 5 syllables. Educational. Educational. This movie is very educational. Every has a very strong V sound followed by an R. Every. We travel every year. Exceptional. It has 4 syllables. Exceptional. She is an exceptional student. Familiar with a strong L, and there's also a hidden Y after the L. Familiar. She has a familiar face. Financial. 3 syllables. Financial. New York is a great financial center. Frustrating. Strong R's in that word. Frustrating. Good pronunciation can be frustrating. General. Don't forget the L at the end of that word. General. Give me a general idea. Immediately has 5 syllables. Immediately. Immediately. Once I took the phone call, I left immediately. Inconvenience. 4 syllables. And there is also a hidden Y in the last syllable. Inconvenience. The power outage was a big inconvenience. Introduce. 3 syllables. Introduce. Let me introduce you. Irrational. 4 syllables with a very strong R. Irrational. His fear of elevators was irrational. Justice. Don't drop the middle T. Justice. They asked the judge for justice. Likeable has the high I vowel. I. Likeable. He is very likeable. Loosen. This has the oo vowel sound. Bring your lips forward. Ooh. Loosen. It's too tight. We need to loosen it. Measurements has the voiced zh sound. Measurements. The measurements were accurate. Middle. It has 2 syllables, and bring your tongue up quickly for that final L. Middle. Middle. We get paid in the middle of the month. Multiple. 3 syllables. Multiple. Multiple. We have multiple offices in the city. National, with the sh sound in the middle and an L sound at the end. National. Our story made the national news. Original, 4 syllables with a strong R. Original. Your idea is certainly original. Outrageous, 3 syllables. First syllable has the ow sound followed by an R. Outrageous. That was an outrageous request. Particular, 4 syllables. Particular. Particular. She wants a particular car. Partnership, 3 syllables. We have a solid partnership. Problem. This has a strong R. And then in the second syllable there's a strong L. Problem. They no longer have a problem. Prohibit. 3 syllables. Prohibit. They prohibit the use of alcohol. Quality. Your tongue should come up slowly for the L. Quality. This shirt is made of good quality. Question. Please ask me a question. Referring. 3 syllables. Referring. What are you referring to? Regardless. Regardless with a strong L. I want to redo this project regardless of the cost. Request. Don't forget that ST ending. Request. They made a special request. Similar has 3 syllables. Similar. Similar. We have similar opinions. Specific. 3 syllables. Specific. Please be specific. Value. There's a strong L and then a hidden Y. Value. I value our friendship. Visualize. 4 syllables. Visualize. Visualize. Can you visualize what you'll be doing in 10 years? Vulnerable. Give that a strong L. Vulnerable. Without the police, they were very vulnerable. Working. This word has the vowel sound. Working. I have been working on these videos for 6 years. No kidding. Well, there you go. The 50 most mispronounced words in American English. I hope that was helpful. You may wish to go over this list again. Well, congratulations. You finally made it to the end of the program. Although I'm sure there is more to improve upon, I do hope that the Pronunciation Workshop program has given you a greater sense of confidence and self-worth in terms of your English communication skills. I hope that if before you began my program, if you were self-conscious about your English pronunciation, that you now feel a little better about your speech and at least know what areas of pronunciation you need to continue to work on. I am always trying to improve this program, and I do get many ideas from my clients. If you have time, please send me an email through my website. Let me know how you did, if you enjoyed the program, and if you have any suggestions to make it even better. I always love to hear from people who took this program and see how my work has changed people's lives for the better. Also, don't forget to tell your friends, relatives, and coworkers about this unique online training program. I'm sure that they would love to improve the way they speak English as well. Also, for your information, at certain times throughout the year, depending on my work schedule, I do work with people individually over the telephone as well as in person. Believe it or not, working with me personally over the telephone one-on-one can be very effective, especially after completing this online training. If you are interested in working with me on a direct one-to-one basis, again, contact me through the pronunciationworkshop.com website. Well, congratulations again. You have just completed the most comprehensive and effective program on English pronunciation available today. You should be very proud of yourself for all your efforts. I hope my program has brought you a greater sense of confidence, and I also hope that in some way I've been a positive influence on your life. I thank you for allowing me this opportunity. Good luck in all your endeavors, and take care. I'm Paul Gruber for the Pronunciation Workshop. Goodbye.